Hello friends, my name is Bilal Khan and today I have a special guest named Usman Ahmad. He is working as a senior developer advocate in Grafana Labs, and he is my one of the best friends, and I came to know about him in Slack channel of Grafana Labs. So yeah, he's from Pakistan, so yeah, we get to know each other really a lot, and we know the culture and all these things. So yeah, I came to know a few days ago on Slack, and we were having a great conversation about what he does and what are the responsibilities of the developer advocates. So yeah, I just want to Usman, I just want to know that to tell the community that what you do and how you moved from Pakistan to Germany and how you got to this position of a senior developer advocacy role in Grafana Labs, because I saw your LinkedIn profile. There were a lot of jobs that you have done previously. So yeah, you have a huge career, and yeah. So I would just want to know, just to let the audience know that what you do as a senior developer advocate and what are the responsibilities of it and how you approached this position from Pakistan, moved to and then to Germany. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Bilal, for the very, very nice introduction, and thank you for inviting me to your channel. So my name is Usman. Originally, I'm from Pakistan, Karachi, but I'm living with my family in Germany. And I started my career here in Karachi like any engineer, like study from university, try to get a job. But during my final year or my thesis, I got an opportunity to move to Sweden for masters, and I studied there. Then after completing masters, I got a very nice opportunity in Germany, in Nuremberg, where I live now, and it was like a cool company which works on mostly on the Java web-based application. At that time, it was the time when I'm saying it was the time when there's no such thing as Docker or Kubernetes. Like those things exist in very, very limited areas, or people don't know. But it was all about like you have to know deep down how the code works or how the machine works with the memories and so on. And I work in that company, it is called Open Exchange, for 10 years. Then, and my role was always, so I have two roles there. I started initially like a technical support guy, and all the work I done for both Linux, mostly Linux and a little bit of Windows as well. But then I got promoted, and I started supporting their cloud application, which is both public and private cloud. And in that role, I used to work also like on duty, working a lot on documentation, making workshop for new people or new hires or onboarding new colleagues. So it was a very cool and very interesting role. And yeah, I worked there for 10 years, and then I said, okay, it's about time to switch something, and I landed a job here in Grafana Labs. In Grafana Labs, I started working as a community support engineer for the open source community. And this is really interesting because lots of people, when you work in your career and you feel like, hey, I am working in the area of open source, but in Grafana, I realized like what exactly the meaning of open source is, because my work is shared and discussed among not just internally but externally to the people or to the contributors on GitHub or on forum or on Slack. That's how I know Bilal.
Yeah.
And now I have already been working in Grafana for about a year now, and now I'm promoted to a role of senior developer advocate, which means I'm still doing what I do, is like engage a lot with the open source community, technical issues and some discussions on the product side, but also I do public speaking in events or meetups, and yeah, this somehow wraps up my summarized story of my career.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, your approach from jumping to one company and then another, you have gained a lot of experience that I have not personally. So yeah, and make sure get to the audience that make sure to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He has an amazing YouTube channel where he make videos about Grafana and all these things, and follow him on LinkedIn and subscribe to his follow on GitHub also. So yeah, he's doing a lot of open source. So yeah, my next question is this: what was your first approach when you applied at Grafana, like as a community manager? So what was the initial step that you took, through open source or through another meetup or event, etc.? So yeah.
jobs for Linux technical support, or like a, being a like a solutions engineer or something. But what really hit me is that I understand the Grafana as like they are purely open source. Like, okay, yeah, with every product there's a part which is enterprise or paid, but there is very big part is still running in Grafana, which is open source. And when I understand the job role, it was all about that I have to engage not directly with customers, but let's say 99% with open source community contributor or users, and maybe 1% of them might be customers or two, who knows. So this was really interesting because in the past, or if you look at the job market, there is still this criteria that if you are working in the domain of support or technical solutions specialists, whatever, you have to work with customer. And this really is very much different. And Grafana has this policy which we say like it's called open tent policy, or big open tent, which means like they want to promote the open source tools or technologies which can connect or work with Grafana. So that really kind of clicked for me, and I say, yeah, I will definitely like to try this out. And boy, I'm glad I did it because I'm enjoying it.
So yeah, is it based on Sweden, right? The company's
Sorry.
based on Sweden or New York, right? In New York.
Yeah, so I would say that initially the main headquarter in the early days was Sweden, Stockholm, and now because it's growing, so the main switched to the States, probably in New York somewhere. I'm not exactly sure, but in States.
So are you working remotely from Germany, right?
Yeah, we a lot of us here in Grafana Labs we work remotely, and this is one also cool thing which I understand in Grafana. I was working remotely before, but in Grafana Labs they have this policy called remote first. This is not just mean like you have to remote work and just work, but it's more like, for example, I have my daughter, I have to take care of her, drop, pick up and drop, or some other work. They say it's totally fine. Do what you do. Obviously, you don't need to inform that a lot. You can obviously make a appointment in your calendar, but do with your work. So that was really cool because it was initially tough in my previous role when I work as a support guy, and if there are customers who are like on duty, then I can't move from my chair.
So yeah, for the
Yeah.
customer support, is it really hard to like take breaks, or yeah, you need to be active and you need to be present in the moment, so that any time a customer can contact you and you need to be present to answer them. So yeah, it's hard. So what are the things that anyone can keep in mind in order to get into the developer advocacy role, not just in Grafana Labs but overall, general?
So there, so this is really interesting and good question, and I would like to share my experience with all of you who are viewing this video. So normally the concept of being a developer advocate is like you have to be some sort of like expert or know very good programming language and know about system, and then with experience you can become a developer advocate because you speak with community or you speak in public. But for example, in my case, I have some basic experience of programming. I would not say that I don't know anything. No, I know I can read code, I can write some basic script. And what matters is like how you feel comfortable if you are being on the stage and you have to present your topic or your share your slides and speak in front of others. So if you have this feeling that yeah you can do it and you have technical skills, not just like you must to be have a developer. No, it's not really necessary. You can still do get this. The most important thing to become a developer advocate, in my point of view, is that you have to first contribute. Contribution to the community or to the product, to the documentation. Like there are many multiple paths, but you have to contribute in different paths. You can't just be like, oh, you are expert in your field, but you don't do any videos or you don't write any blog or you don't do any contribution. Then it's really hard that you will be, because developer advocacy means that you are advocating for your company. That means you know how to speak, you know how to write, you know how to explain. So these key elements are very important for anyone who wants to be a developer kid. Need to know these things.
Yeah, so I came to know about the developer advocacy role itself when I started engaging on Twitter. I was not aware of this role itself, so I was not aware that whether this role exists or not. I was just trying to prepare for the software engineering role, and then I came to know that hey, this role also exists, and the community manager and all these things also exist because the company also require these kind of people who can promote their company through open source or through the community or through to be a best educator so that you can educate the community and attract the people, attract the good people. And yeah, it's also a way of promoting a company. So yeah, this is an awesome thing. I was unintentionally doing all these things, like I was creating videos, writing blogs, just to be shown off to the community, just to be present in the community. But ultimately I came to know that hey, these roles also exist. So yeah, in developer advocacy you need to be a good teacher, good supporter in order to promote your company, and that's what the motive of this role is. And the next question is this about the Grafana, that what are the why it is different from other observability tools like Prometheus or other things.
So this is some sort of like also a misconception in the tech world that oh, Grafana, it means that it works only with Prometheus. So that's very much everyone thinks, but it's really different. So as I said in the beginning, like Grafana has this policy of big open tank. That means like we we are we are happy that if someone has some open source project, they can integrate it with Grafana, and Grafana can be used to display the metrics or visualization or data. What different does it make is that it is free. So there is multiple products of Grafana which are free. For example, Grafana itself is free. Now there is a product called Grafana Loki. It is also free. It is for logs. And there is also some other tools like on-call. I think one part of it is also free. Plus, Grafana is a complete monitoring stack. So once you use Grafana, it means that you have not only dashboard, but you can share it with the public. Plus, you can create alerts. You can monitor logs. You can even now there is a tool called Pyroscope, which is very new but very useful. It's for continuous profiling. There is also tools for Faro. These are our open source tools, and this is what makes the difference with other tools, because in other tools you may have one part of the product free, but the rest component which you need as a complete observability stack, then you have to like purchase them or pay some price. And what's happening right now in the market is that because of the whole economical situation, many companies wants to use or try out at least first the free part and see and analyze like how it works in their environment. So this makes difference. The second thing is that Grafana has this cool thing called plugin development for open source, or you can create your own data source, custom data source, and you can define it, and it can connect to can be connected at Grafana. This is not something very much available in many other tools, because then when it comes to the concept of plugin development or custom plugin, then you have to maintain it or give them some fee, or it is costly in short. So this is where Grafana differs from others.
Yeah, so I was contributing to one project. I won't name it, but there was kind of like the extension path was open source, but the main thing in which you have to build the architecture and all these things that were closed source. But although they were not given, they have not given the proper documentation that how you can install that main path locally in your environment. But the extension path was open source. I was not aware that hey, let's say if there is a person who is not aware of the extension path, or who is not trying to build an extension for that application like in another language, or if you want to go to the main path or to the main architecture, then how he can contribute into it. And there was no documentation. So yeah, that's happened to most of the some companies in which they take some of the code out and keep the code, some of the code closed source, so that nobody can touch it, or only the engineers can access it who are working as an employee. So yeah, these are the things that are happening in the market. So how the open source helped Grafana to evolve its product in the community.
Sorry, just a second. source, how it helps. So
How
this
it
is
evolved,
a real
like
example. Sorry.
evolved, like how it evolved in these 5 to 4 years, 4 to 5 years, like through open source in the community. How? Yeah.
Yeah, so Grafana has right now very big community, and it has so what are the main, or I go one step back. So what are the main community resources for Grafana? So one is the community forum. There is public GitHub repos. There are many. There's not just one single Grafana, but there's like our Grafana Loki, Grafana K6, and so on. And the third is Slack. So these are the big three which are officially part of Grafana, and there are some other, like there is a very good resource on Reddit, Telegram, Stack Overflow, and so on. Now, how the community helped to build Grafana in those areas. So a lot of community contributors, or those users who are very passionate and using Grafana for some time, they obviously start using it. They file a lot of bugs. So it helps in fixing the issues. Then there were feature requests. Then there's one very interesting story which I learned a year back, that during the version of Grafana 6, there was always a request that, hey, I have this very fancy dashboard and I would like to share this with the world, but there is no way unless I give everyone a permission. So with that request, Grafana developers created a feature called public dashboard. This means that once you have created a dashboard, you can simply like switch a toggle button, an option, or like a toggle button, and you will be able to share your dashboard publicly without giving any permission issues or something. You don't have to worry at all. And this comes from the community side, and this now is like one of the most useful feature and most used feature in the product area. One other example is that recently we started Grafana Champions program. So this is really useful for everyone who are listening. Grafana is looking for more open source contributors, and you can join this program. It is free to join, and we give some swags and packages. And we have some very very passionate and very expert community developers or contributors who, for example, wrote excellent tutorials on, for example, how to use Grafana with such as maybe MySQL, InfluxDB, and so on. And this is coming from the community, and this is where you have to understand the bar. If you expect that, if you want to make your product successful, but you have only paid customer, that paid customer will never write a blog for you, like how to do this. But this will only come from those who are part of the community, and because they love the product, this is their feedback, because hey, I use Grafana and I want everyone to know this is how you can do this. So this is how Grafana is evolving as a product and making really big impact in the observability market.
Yeah. So, are there any kind of features or things that are coming up in the future in the Grafana Labs?
Yeah, definitely. We have some amazing features in terms of product-wise coming. So there is already a lot of improvement in the front-end side of the Grafana. There is something called Grafana Scenes and Grafana as Code. These were already introduced last year, but they were like very fresh. Now they are getting more polished, and hopefully by the end of next year they will be like much more better version of it. Plus, as I said, like there is a new product called Bioscope. It is still in very early days. There is still lots of work going, but this is really cool product because it covers the fourth pillar of observability, which is the profiling, and hopefully there will be one more for the fifth pillar, which is events also. So there might be one more product. So Grafana is, I would say, it's not stopping anywhere. It's keep on rolling strategy, and so stay tuned.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this thing and the features that are coming up in the future. So I'll be happy to use them and be a customer of them. So yeah, really excited about the community and the Grafana Lab itself, that it is promoting the community and open source is in their blood. Like that's what they mentioned in their website. So yeah, this is why they are prioritizing the open source and the community. So that's the thing that I liked about, and I started contributing into it, and I wrote blogs and having a started interested conversation with you. So yeah, I'm really thankful to you, and to the audience, make sure to subscribe to the Grafana Lab like Twitter account and channel. I will be giving the link all in the description below, and I will also be giving the links of Usman Ahmad, LinkedIn, GitHub, and Twitter, YouTube channel. So make sure to follow him also. He's an amazing person. So you won't. You will. I really appreciate that you talked to me, and I learned a lot of things from you. So yeah, thank you, Osman, for letting me all these things know. So yeah, really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Bilal. It was really pleasure talking to you. And yeah, if any one of you need any help, just reach me out, or need to know anything about Grafana, or even just talk about like how developer advocacy or how Linux works. I will be very happy to answer such questions as well.
Yeah, so that's awesome. That's nice. So I think we need to wrap up, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, but before this, let's just take a screenshot, and then we will wrap this session up. All right.
Sure.
All right. So let's take this. All right. So, okay, Usman, have a good day. See you next time, and we will be in chat with you on right after that session. All right. So,
Okay. Thank you
okay.
very much, Bilal. Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Thank you very much for your time, and see you then.
Have a good day.